Good morning, people. Day 2. I'm going to lose count of the days, okay, when we're doing this, but I'm back out in the yard. It's 20 to 10 in the morning. Charlie has walked. The first video that went up, you know, you can contact us at vanbuild@charlieandme.ie if you just want to have a chat, ask questions, suggest colours for the van, suggest layouts. We have ideas, but not for colours, because that's way down the line. But one or two people said, has Charlie seen the ambulance? So what I'm going to do now is he did. I got the ambulance on the 14th of October and I drove it home, and then I brought it out to the yard and I brought Charlie out. So I'll put a snippet of video in here now of Charlie's first impression when he saw the ambulance. So yeah, he seems to like it. I can't bring him out to the yard. Excuse, I have the engine running to charge up the batteries. I can't bring him out to the yard because with the mechanics and the lawnmowers and there's loads of work and the coal trucks coming in and out. But I'll bring him out the odd day, so he will be joining us on the build to get some credit for what's going on. Today, as I say, I'm only doing fiddly bits for the first couple of videos until we get this engineer's report, which is tomorrow. Today I'm going to take off the blue lights, replace them with red lights. I'm not going to connect them in as yet because I may actually connect all the top lights as driving lights. And I'm just going to show you something that I'm not... These are the red lights, okay? But I noticed they're tubes and I think they're going to be about 2 amps to run if they're on. I don't know, I'm not happy with the tubes. I'd rather put in some LEDs. So my plan is, I've got all the seals, the whole lot. My plan is to investigate, do a bit of bench work at maybe fitting LED bulbs in or a strip of LED. I don't know yet. So for the moment, the red ones that are up there are already flashers. I want to disconnect all them, just put up the red lenses just to get rid of the blue. I'll do the same with the side. I'm going to get rid of the blue and put on the white ones. And I'm leaving the front bar at the top until we're actually doing the electrics or the painting or whatever. So that's what we're at today, and possibly if I get time later on, I might get the hairdryer out, not mine obviously, and start removing the lettering on the front and on the side of the ambulance. Few of you out there are going to be saying, why haven't I cleaned this lens? And I'll tell you why, because this is obviously going to be power washed soon and stuff, and I really just want to get them on. They're not connected and I'll be taking them off to reconnect them, and as I said, I just want to get them on as best I can just to take the blue lights off. One more to do on this side. Okay, so I've got the red ones up there replaced with the blue ones, but they're not connected. But I was thinking on the side ones, I want the 4 whites to come on as awning lights. So I'm going to connect them now, but I'm going to have to run a cable from that light, the second last light, to the last light, and from the second light to the first light. So I'm going over to the bench to make up some leads that I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I've cut the plug off the white light I'm putting on. I've got a coil of cable. I'm going to connect that in there, put a set of tails on the other end, connect it to the light, test it, and then screw it in. And if that works, which it should, I'll do the same on the front, and I'll do the same on both lights on the other side. And hey presto, There we go. I've just to do the other one on the other side. The bleeping you're hearing, the batteries are low. I've ordered, actually I must show it to you, I haven't showed it to you, I'll just turn these off. As you can see, I'm getting low battery warnings, but I want to show you something on the other side. And this is something that I'm in two minds of changing. In fact, I'm thinking of not changing it. You know the way we have the outside socket, we plug into our electrics and we plug into the side of the van? Well, this one, oh, I hope you can see it. Actually, hang on, I'll turn on the scene lights even though the batteries are low. Bear with me for 1 second. Right hand side, right. Oh, it didn't come on. That's the rear. Right, take a look at this for a second. This is where my power outlet is going to be, but this has an unusual outlet. I'm thinking of keeping it. It is 220, but it's unusual. And I'm thinking of keeping that outlet. I've ordered the socket for it because it's not standard in the electrical wholesalers, the plug for it. And I'm going to wire it on one end to the normal power outlet for a motorhome, for a campsite, and then this new plug. And I'm going to keep that because the lead will only be ever used with that. Unless I come across a regulation or a rating that says you can't. But it's only powering the leisure batteries, and really that's all. But I think I'm going to keep it. Anyway, right, let's get the rest of these lights done, and then I'll see about taking off the sun lighting. Okay, so I didn't touch the rear one. There's only one, but look at that. 4 on that side, and 4 on that side. I would really love to change those lights to LEDs, but what I'll do is I'll wait and see what the loading is like as we go along on the build when we get more closer to the electrics. Okay, now I have a couple of options to do now. I can either start doing the sign writing. Well, I'm going to go and take a break. I could start doing the sign writing, or I could have a bash at those chairs that are inside. And I got to be honest, I really think I'd rather get the angle grinder at them, or at least do them if I have help. I'm going to make a call. There's a buddy of mine who's off for the next couple of weeks. I'll give him a call and see if he wants to give me a dig out. Yeah, but first I think I'll go to the shops, take a break. So next job on the agenda, I'm just trying to keep the lights down to save the batteries. Why didn't that go off? Next job on the agenda is the removal of these seats. There's 2 in there. Now, I've watched Project Amber's video, and he was chatting to a couple over the weekend, and they said that the 3 seats, there's another one here, were an absolute dog's dinner to get out. So I know I can take it off the bracket, no problem, because it's only 4 bolts. Actually, here, I'll show you where the 4 bolts are. That's on this seat here. Just need to get a torch and show you. There's 2 bolts in there, and there's 2 bolts in there. 4 bolts, but as I've said before, 10 minutes. Nothing takes 10 minutes in this build. So I'm not going to set the camera up and show the boring. I'm taking out 4 bolts. When I come back, hopefully, the scene I'm going to show you now will be totally different. New plan. The bolts on the seat were too hard to get to. 4 bolts underneath, lift it up, and I believe it's that frame is going to be an absolute dog to get off, not so much the seats. Still haven't had a look to see about this one yet, but you know what, I'm glad I'm indoors because it's absolutely lashing out there. Okay, so that one, I had to take that front plate out and then the 4 screws underneath. I might actually keep that because it's bolted in, and I'd say it's bolted under the floor. And I might actually build my seat on that. I plan on putting a seat there, another seat here with a dinette. I really want to have a dinette table, and that's, camera won't focus. That's the plan I had for there. That the bed will possibly come out a little bit further than that black mark. I haven't done measurements yet, but I do want to put a little dinette there. Just a small collapsible table, maybe not necessarily a collapsible table. So now, for this guy, and then I'm going to call it a day for today, and then as I say, tomorrow hopefully I'll bring it down to the garage to get the Irish registration plates legally put back onto it. What that is because this was Northern Ireland plates, the logbook is totally different to the Irish logbook. See, the lights are on a timer when the battery gets low. And I've got to bring the ambulance down to an HYMER regulated garage. They're going to literally just check the logbook against the VIN number, stamp it, a form that I have, send that off to the tax office. Then I get the Irish logbook. Then I send that off to have the tax cancelled and the van classes off the road for about 6 months. And then that van will not be moving. So tomorrow, I'm going to try and get that chair out now. But tomorrow there'll be very little done because tomorrow morning, as I say, my mechanic is coming out to drive this on his insurance. We're going to get that test done. I'll bring it back here and then I might just spend the rest of Tuesday editing. Plus I've got to get ready for the podcast on Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, the demolition starts. On Wednesday, that's where I'll be setting up the camera, leaving it on, editing that back later on from an hour of whatever I'm doing down to 2 minutes or whatever. So this should be the last kind of boring. Well, it's not boring. People want to see what's going on, but from the next video on, it should be deconstruction. Okay, so I'm going to call it a day for today. It's lunchtime. Well, it's 12:10. Again, I get the camper back in and it's lashing rain outside. I've got to lift those chairs out and put them down the side because I don't want anything rolling around when we're driving to get the engineer's test tomorrow. Do you hear that rain? I've got to go out there to get the car and get the camper.